As Titans, we believe that diverse perspectives deepen our understanding, and that having big dreams doesn't require big debt. We're proud of our role as an intellectual and cultural center, and that Titans help prove what Einstein thought was impossible. And we're committed to giving students the support they need to graduate, while responding to California's evolving workforce needs. Titans, reach higher.
Good morning. Welcome to Cal State Fullerton's 2060 Convocation. I'm Anil Puri, and I have served this university in several capacities, most recently as Dean of Mahalo College of Business and Economics. And today it's my honor to serve as the provost, interim provost, I should say, and Vice President for Academic Affairs. It's indeed a privilege to be stepping into this role at this critical time in Cal State Fullerton's history. As many of you know, we are headed into the fourth year of our strategic plan under the leadership of President Garcia, a plan that has invigorated this campus and has been a catalyst for transformation. We look forward to President Garcia sharing today some of the results of this transformation and talking about the people who have made these achievements possible. But before she does that, I want to take a few minutes to talk about the contributions that she has made in this 4 years. Now, having been a member of Cal State Fullerton for so many years and served with several presidents, I speak with some authority when I say that President Garcia is both an exceptional leader and a visionary. To begin with, she is the embodiment of the power of education to transform. Her journey from the projects in Brooklyn to becoming the first Latina president in the CSU system is a testament to her tenacity, her intelligence, and her incredible perseverance. Her story is really the epitome of the American dream, the idea that if we work hard and play by the rules, anything is possible. But she also knows that rules are not the same for everyone. Persistent inequalities in our social, economic, and educational systems mean that not everyone has the same opportunity to succeed. President Garcia has refused to let these inequities go unaddressed. Education opened the doors for her, and she in turn has dedicated her career to ensuring that those doors remain firmly open, especially for students of color, students from low-income backgrounds, and students who will be the first in their families to earn a degree. Under President Garcia's vision and leadership, and with committed engagement of each and every one of you, our campus has moved to the forefront of national conversations about the challenges facing higher education today. Our collective accomplishments and the energy and intention with which we have pursued our mission are setting precedents that will have meaning and impact for our university for years to come. So now, as per our tradition, President Garcia's convocation address will review the year that has been and frame the year that will be. So let's please join me in welcoming, with a big Titan applause, President Mildred Garcia.
Right. Good morning. Good morning, buenos dias. Welcome and happy new academic year. Did this summer not go by so fast? It's over. It seems like it was just yesterday that I was on our commencement stage addressing our largest graduating class in history, a diverse group of 9,949 Titans who together earned, hear this, 10,312 degrees. As many of you know, we've been flirting with 10,000 degrees for years. But this is the first time we've hit that elusive mark. And I'm proud to begin by recognizing that behind that number, behind each of those degrees, is a dream realized, a family legacy transformed, a community lifted, and of course, each of you being part of every one of those degrees. And as I observed the class of 2016 on that very special day, I was reminded of something Kevin Costner said at our recent 10th anniversary annual dinner with our Titans. Of course, it was about his favorite subject, baseball, but it proved analogous to what I was observing at our commencement. He said, and I quote, "One of the best parts about baseball has always been being able to look up in the stands and see your mom and dad. So parents, and extended families, of course, find a way to be there when your son or daughter looks up. Similarly, for our graduates, particularly those who are the first in their family to achieve a college degree, one of the best parts about commencement is looking up in the stands to see their mom and dad, their tios and abuelitas, all of their proud family and friends. And as I watched our graduates looking up to their loved ones who found a way to be there for them on this special day, I couldn't help but think of every one of you, our dedicated faculty and staff, who found a way to be there for them every step along their academic journey. Not because you were paid to or because you were told to, but because it was your passion, your drive, and your love for the students that we all serve. Now, until recently, I didn't have a word that captured the true essence of that passion and drive, but then I learned that people of Okinawa, who on average live far longer and generally lead happier, healthier lives, do have a word for it. They call it ikigai, which means roughly the reason you wake up in the morning. So as I stand before you, I am so proud that our ikigai, our reason for waking up in the morning, is so crystal clear. It's our amazing students. And as your president, I can tell you there is no better team in the world I'd rather wake up with on the dawn of a new academic year than all of you. You are all educators, regardless of where you work on campus, whether faculty or staff. And when our students achieve their academic goals and life dreams, they stand on your shoulders. So before I go any further, I want to thank you. Thank you. I also like to pause to recognize some special guests. Dr. Emily Bonney, Chair of the Academic Senate, and many of her fellow senators are in attendance. Dr. Michael Chaffee, Chair of the Planning, Resource, and Budget Committee, is here. Our alumni are proudly represented by Michael Bader, President of the Alumni Association. Jeff Van Hart, Chair of our Philanthropic Board, is here with other board members. And of course, the student body president is recognized and here by Janitza Barrios, ASI president. Let's take a moment to welcome these distinguished guests. Excuse me, it seemed there's another honored guest here this morning. Pikachu just popped up on Pokemon Go. Sorry, but like with everything else of late, it seems like Cal State Fullerton is a top-ranked institution, believe it or not, for Pokemon Go stops. I'm not kidding. Our Chief Technology Officer, there it is. Our Chief Technology Officer, Amir Dabirian, who is hopelessly addicted to the game, swears he has nothing to do with this, but I have my suspicions. Regardless, now that I've captured Pikachu and your attention, let's put our phones away and get into the heart of our convocation, and that means you especially, Amir. 3 years ago, I stood on this stage and signaled my commitment to our strategic plan's goal to increase the number of high-quality and diverse tenure-track and tenured faculty. Today, I am proud to welcome 59 of our newest tenure-track faculty members to the Titan family. As a group, they represent our efforts to continue diversifying our ranks to better represent our students. Half of them are women, 33% are Asian, 10% are Latino, 9% are African American, and 40% are Caucasian. With their arrival, more than 225 new tenure-track faculty members have been hired since the implementation of our strategic plan, meaning that 25%, 1 in 4 of all tenure-track faculty members were hired in the last 4 years. Notice our new faculty members and lecturers have a special name tag. No, that's not so that you can haze them at the reception. It's so you can introduce yourselves and give them a warm, Titan welcome. In doing so, you will find that our strategic plan's third goal, to recruit and retain a high-quality and diverse faculty and staff, is alive and well. Will the faculty members, tenured and tenure-track, and our lecturers please stand and let us welcome you into the Titan family. Thank you. As we begin this academic year amidst a great deal of senior leadership change, it's important to remember that the departure of Provost Cruz, Deputy Provost Sherry McMahon, Associate Vice President Peter Newuso, and Dr. David Bowman, and many others who were recently appointed to distinguished leadership positions beyond our campus signify our emergence as a model for developing academic leaders whose diversity and achievements align with the changing needs of our nation's students. And while we will miss them, much like we will miss Dr. Claire Cavallero and other colleagues who are retiring, their departures create opportunities to promote from within and seek out new leaders at a critical time in our institution's history. We just heard from one of those leaders, our interim provost and vice president for academic affairs, Dr. Anil Puri. We have all witnessed his superb academic talents as a faculty member and renowned economist, along with his strong leadership as a 2-time member of Academic Senate, and of course, as dean of the Mahalo College of Business and Economics. Under his leadership, and for the first time in its history, the college recently received national rankings from Business Week, Princeton Review, and U.S. News and World Report. We are so fortunate to have him serve as interim provost, and we are proud of the team we've put together to serve with him, including Dr. Pamela Oliver, professor in the College of Health and Human Development, who will serve as interim associate vice president for academic programs, Dr. Morteza Ramatian, professor in the Mahalo College of Business and Economics, who will serve as the college's interim dean, Dr. Stephen Walk, professor in the College of Health and Human Development, who will serve as interim associate vice president for South Orange County Operations and Initiatives, and Dr. Marianne Villarreal, director of strategic initiatives and university projects, who will now join the academic affairs team as assistant vice president for strategic initiatives. There are some changes in the role of dean and interim dean that include Dr. Suzama Barua, interim dean for the College of Engineering and Computer Science, Dr. Lisa Kirkman, dean of the College of Education, and Dr. Carrie Knudsen Miller, dean of the College of Extended Education and International Programs. In addition to recognizing these individuals, I also want to welcome those of you at your first Cal State Fullerton convocation, including Ms. Gail Brooks, JD, Interim Vice President for Human Resources, Diversity, and Inclusion, Dr. Scott Payton, Dean of the College of Communications, Dr. Laurie Rhodes, Dean of the College of Health and Human Development, and Dr. Marie Johnson, Dean of the College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics. With all the people I just mentioned and everyone joining us for their first Cal State Fullerton convocation, please stand and be recognized. Thank you and welcome to the Titan family. This sense of family was one of the first things I experienced as a Titan. And like all families, when members of it are tragically lost, those of us left behind grow closer. Our sense of community strengthens, and trivial disagreements wash away through an outpouring of grief and support. Over the past year, I mourned with many of you. First, over the loss of Naomi Gonzalez, a student from our sister campus, Long Beach State, who was killed in the Paris terror attacks. Then, Tin Tan Nguyen, a proud graduate of our College of Health and Human Development, who lost her life in the San Bernardino shootings. And everyone around the world affected by senseless, very senseless acts of violence, terror, and injustice. Many of those attacks have been on underrepresented communities, as well as officers protecting us. And as an inclusive, embracing campus that celebrates and advances diversity, the sting of this reality is even greater. You know, as I traveled this summer, I heard perspectives from various people, many of whom were at a loss for what to say or do in the face of this unprecedented barrage of violence. While I share their pain, I took solace in knowing that the faculty and staff of Cal State Fullerton are not at a loss of what to say or do. We know, many of us firsthand, that the solution to violence, injustice, and intolerance begins with equitable access to quality education in a welcoming, diverse environment. That is who the Titan family is. And our work recalls the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, and I quote, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that," unquote. We are that light, not just through our outstanding academic programs, but as a sanctuary for living and learning in a multicultural world that is focused on peace and social justice. With this in mind, in my summer travels, I actively sought out other inclusive sanctuaries of academic excellence, and I made some new friends along the way with some very interesting discoveries. For example, while some may consider it odd that we are a top Pokemon Go destination, consider the uniforms the students at the University of Coimbra in Portugal are required to wear. No, that's not Harry Potter. This is a photo I took of a male student, complete with his requisite cape. And here's a photo with me with a female student. These students are not stealing Harry and Hermione's look. In fact, the opposite is true. Prior to writing the Harry Potter books, author J.K. Rowling lived in Portugal and was so inspired by the university, she modeled Hogwarts and its famous students after it. Regardless, the next time our students complain about the heat wave, remind them at least we don't have them wear these capes to class. As you could see in the photo, the shoes I wear around Europe are Titan orange, white, and blue, courtesy of our athletics department, which is great for school spirit, but not so good when I'm trying to hang out with the locals. So upon my arrival in Spain, I went to Casa Hernanz, a tiny shop off Madrid's Plaza Mayor, famous for selling espadrilles, the local summer footwear of choice. The shoes are made by hand on a wooden counter that dates back to the 19th century. But before I could slip on mine and waiting online, my sneakers gave me away, and I was recognized by a faculty member from a university on the East Coast. We enjoyed a pleasant conversation, and his enthusiasm for Cal State Fullerton and our success just goes to show, as we become a national model, we also become a global model. And there are few places in the world where the Titan spirit is not thriving. And of course, he and his wife, who stood online with me to get into the store, are sending their resumes our way. And when you mention Cal State Fullerton to students across the world, look out. One night on a cruise from Portugal to Spain, I heard a bunch of noise right outside my cabin. So of course, I had to open it up. And what did I find? I discovered a group of Portuguese students celebrating their friend's high school graduation. Here's the group, pretty much how I found them. The young girl whose graduation was being celebrated aspires to be a medical doctor. And when I told her I worked at Cal State Fullerton, she lit up. And after answering many of her questions about the university, I gave her and the other students my business card. When I told this to my chief of staff, Ann Camp, who probably will get the phone calls, she said, I'm probably the only university president who goes to high school parties in Europe and hands out business cards. Anyway, I hope all of you were able to get away this summer, found time to relax, to recharge, and found ways to share our mission and success with others. There's so much to brag about, and as is our tradition, Strategic Communications put together a video that touches on some of our achievements from the past year.
Heart is a balloon, shoots up through the stony ground. There's no room, no space to rent in this town. You're out of luck, and the reason that you had to care, the traffic is stuck, and you're not moving anywhere. You thought you found a friend to take you out of this place, someone you can lend a hand in return for grace. It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. So let it get away on the road. You've got no destination, you're in the mud, in a maze of her imagination. Your love is down, even if that doesn't ring true. You've been all over, and it's been all over you. It's a beautiful day. So let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Touch me, take me to that other place. Teach me, I know I'm not a hopeless case. See the world in green and blue. See China right in front of you. See the canyons broken by cloud. See the tuna fleets clearing the sea out. See the bedroom fires at night. See the oil fields at first light. And see the bird with a leaf in her mouth. After was a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. Beautiful day. Touch me. Take me to that other place. Release me. I know I'm not a hopeless case. What you don't have, you don't need it now. What you don't know, you can feel it somehow. What you don't have, you don't need it now. Don't need it now. It was a beautiful day.
What an amazing, incredible year. Thanks to all of you. At this time, I'd like to share some other accomplishments and set our goals for the coming year through the lens of our strategic plan. As promised at last year's convocation, the plan's first goal: develop a curricular and co-curricular environment that prepares students for participation in a global society and is responsive to workforce needs, was anchored by the continued development of the university's first ever Academic Master Plan, or AMP. You know, in academics, we all have these acronyms, AMP. This past year, with input from the Council of Deans, Dr. Bonney, Provost Cruz, and the Academic Senate Executive Committee, we appointed a steering committee with 4 subcommittees to address comments that resulted from the first AMP draft plan. In the spring, the AMP Steering Committee then shared the first draft of the AMP with the campus. And based on the comments that came in via the AMP website, a narrative from each subcommittee was presented in May. This fall, an official draft of the AMP will be shared for yet another round of university-wide input. The importance of this work cannot be overstated, as the final product will drive all the short and long-term visions for the institution as we prepare our new 5-year strategic plan that will guide us through 2024. I want to thank Steering Committee Co-Chair Dr. Bonney, as well as Dr. Puri for stepping in to co-chair with her, along with the subcommittees and all Titans who have taken the time to contribute to this process. Also on Goal 1, our Student Success Teams, or SSTs, continue to thrive, 1 in each college, 1 at the Irvine campus, and 1 dedicated to special populations. The 10 SSTs are an innovative collaboration between student affairs and academic affairs, thanks to Dr. Ains, Dr. Cruz, and their faculty and support, providing data-driven student advising that leverages the knowledge of our faculty and staff. Recently, Cal State Fullerton led a partnership with 10 other comprehensive institutions entitled OASIS, Optimizing Academic Success and Institutional Strategy. We were asked by the Lumina Foundation to be the lead group taking on this project. And at that first OASIS network meeting, which we hosted, an incredible panel presentation on student success teams, our very own, stole the show. The panel was led by Dr. Mark Filowitz, Associate Dean for the College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, Ms. Maricela Alvarado, Assistant Dean for the College of the Arts, Ms. Mary Len Mooney, Graduate Specialist for the College of Health and Human Development, Ms. Courtney Burrell, Retention Specialist for the College of Engineering and Computer Science, and Ms. Marisa Perez-Amord, Career Specialist for the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. And for those of you who missed their presentation, I am so sorry we didn't tape it. I could tell you that the culmination of our work was seen on that very day. The audience was completely blown away. People took notes furiously. The president of Morgan State stood up and commented on how our staff and those SSTs are so clearly anchored in our love for our students. The provost of a Georgia institution got up and said, we've been copying Cal State Fullerton SSTs, and they're working for us too. The Undersecretary of Education, who was with us that day, announced she would be taking our work back to the department in Washington, D.C. And when a vice president from City University of New York announced that if any of those staff members wanted a career at City University of New York, he would assist them, I finally stood up and said, enough. You are not stealing any more of our incredible staff. But in the end, my eyes welled up with tears, for on that day, in that moment, we were the model comprehensive public university of the nation. And I saw that culture change that we've been dreaming of, one that is grounded in our ability to work across colleges and divisions for the greater good of every single student we serve. It was an amazing moment in our history. Further, in alignment with Goals 1's objective to advance students' recognitions of roles they play in an interdependent global economy, our campus as a living lab program created partnerships between facilities management and 17 faculty members from 6 colleges, using the campus as a forum for the exploration of sustainable theories. From a College of Humanities and Social Sciences course, in which Professor Zia Salim's students conducted a waste and recycling program in McCarthy Hall, to Professor Darren Sandquist's work in the College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics that enabled his biology students to partner with facilities management in identifying irrigation conservation for campus trees. And not to be outdone on preparing students for participation in a global society, broadcast journalism lecturer Miss Beth George and her students in the College of Communications introduced Al Dia, Cal State Fullerton's first Spanish-language television broadcast. Also in alignment with Goal 1, the College of Education's success in collaborative partnerships with our school districts earned them a very successful reaccreditation visit and review by the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing and the National Council for Accreditation of Teacher Education. Moving forward in the new academic year, it's time to raise the bar for Goal 1, beginning with the completion of the aforementioned Academic Master Plan, which will be presented to the campus in its final form by the end of the calendar year. Again, as we appoint the steering committee for the development of our next 5-year strategic plan, the completed AMP will inform their work, as well as the creation of our physical master plan, the framework for which will be presented this academic year. Piggybacking on last year's success with our WASC interim report this past spring, we successfully submitted the WASC mid-cycle report, which included a comprehensive inventory of educational effectiveness for 37 of our academic programs. I want to thank everyone for working so hard to ensure that we are meeting all of WASC's recommendations, and in true Titan spirit, we are exceeding them in every way possible. Moving on, our strategic plan's second goal, improve student persistence, increase graduation rates university-wide, and narrow the achievement gap for underrepresented students, is anchored by the bolstering of high-impact practices, or HIPS. We are the lead campus in the CSU system-wide initiative on HIPS, and this past year, our comprehensive data-informed approach not only defined the most impactful HIPS for our diverse students, but also enabled faculty and staff to integrate them seamlessly into the curriculum. The Faculty Development Center created the Impact Teaching Certificate, which is awarded to faculty members who complete 4 HIP workshops. And IT worked with Academic Affairs to create a mobile application that tracks students' real-time experiences in HIPS. We will also continue our work with the President's Strategic Fund, which in its inaugural year empowered over 100 diverse students to participate in winter intersession study abroad or study away programs. As always, our amazing faculty continue to drive HIPS on the front lines. Under the leadership of Doina Bean, Assistant Professor of Computer Science, our Association for Computing Machinery Women mentored 40 Orange County Girl Scouts in creative coding to promote young women in STEM. In the Mahalo College of Business and Economics, Professor Goli Sadri teamed with industry expert Joanna Moore to develop the Women's Leadership Program. And who can forget the incredible gravitational wave breakthrough made by our physics professors, Dr. Joshua Smith, Dr. Jocelyn Reed, Dr. Jeffrey Lovelace, and Dr. Alfonso Agnew, professor of mathematics, and their students, in collaboration with institutions like Caltech and MIT, confirming fundamental predictions made by Einstein 100 years earlier. Their discovery opened a new field of astronomy and offers unprecedented insight into how the universe works. Since 2010, more than 40 of our undergraduate and graduate students were involved in their research, paving the way for both the gravitational wave breakthrough and the creation of the first named directorship in the history of the College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, the Dan Black Director of the Gravitational Wave Physics and Astronomy Center, big name, and that's held by our very own Dr. Joshua Smith. Continuing on the HIP front, this past year, Outstanding Professor winner Dr. Raibed Aysad of the College of the Arts structures his classroom through active and guided high-impact practices that sees his students traveling the world to perform in places like Paris and Carnegie Hall and other prestigious locations. Moving forward, our Go-To efforts will continue to center on the continued expansion of HIPS, particularly in ensuring they are accessible to all students, not just those who can afford the time and resources to participate in them. Also on that note, Student Affairs will be taking proactive steps in addressing homelessness and food insecurity among our students, with plans in collaboration with IT for an app that notifies students when food is available. We all know, we all have these events, food is really good, it's there. Why don't we let students know that food is there through an app? Good idea. Both physical and environmental climates are also important aspects of Goal 2 and critical to our students' success. To that end, the Division of Administration and Finance will again be focused on improving our sense of place. When the renovation of the former Western State College of Law is completed this calendar year, it will be occupied by University Extended Education and Campus IT. The Titan Student Union Expansion Project, which will provide 26,000 square feet of much-needed space to accommodate the growth of our student body, will be completed by Labor Day. I want to thank our visionary student leaders who helped bring this achievement to fruition, including former ASI presidents Rahula Latif, Harpreet Bath, and Michael Badal, along with the incredible staff who worked with them. I've already touched on some of our success on Goal 3, recruit and retain a high quality and diverse faculty and staff in regards to our faculty hiring. And this past academic year, we also hired 160 extremely talented staff members. And again, their diversity better aligns with our student body. They are 10% African American, 23% Hispanic, 18% Asian American, and 36% Caucasian. Also, this past year, the work of the Campus Climate Evaluation Team addressed the concerns that emerged from the Campus Climate Survey, resulting in 2 significant steps forward in what was previously called our Diversity Action Plan. 1, it was transformed into a larger, more collaborative endeavor to address the diversity, inclusion, and equity goals. And 2, the endeavor named the President's Commission on Equity and Inclusion, or PCEI, is now led by subcommittees from academic affairs, staff, MPPs, student organizations, and campus affinity groups, all of whom will lead a university-wide conversation on creating an inclusive climate where diversity is a point of pride and excellence. To that end, this summer, I, along with the senior leadership team and the PCEI Steering Committee, participated in workshops facilitated by Dr. Damon Williams, author of the book Strategic Diversity Leadership, whose work will guide the PCEI through its first year. It was an amazing experience, and Dr. Williams will soon return to campus to host similar workshops for the PCEI subcommittees, all MPPs, and everyone interested in participating in this work that addresses concerns raised by our campus climate survey, as well as some of our student groups. I'd like to pause here to remind us all that many of the concerns raised are a microcosm of what we are seeing play out in our nation's protests, race relations, and in politics. With this in mind, it has never been more important to ensure these discussions on inclusive excellence, social justice, and equity are taking place so that all Titans have a voice at the table and a vested interest in having it heard in the classroom, in our communities, and this coming November at the polls. Again, we are that light in the darkness. And when all 42,000 of us, approximately, shine together, we can and do make a difference. Vice President Greg Sachs always reminds me that we at Cal State Fullerton are bigger than the city of Brea, and that together we make a difference within Orange County, the state, and the nation. Now, we can't really talk about Goal 4, increased revenue through fundraising, entrepreneurial activities, grants, and contracts, without first addressing the budget. As Danny Kim, our CFO, often says, budget conversations as of late have been pretty short, beginning and ending in one sentence. We don't have any money. In 2015, thanks to the advocacy of the CSU and many, many people across our campus, the governor ultimately funded the CSU request for the first time in a decade. Our celebration was short-lived, however, as word trickled out of Sacramento that CSU already had their year. Alas, those rumors proved true, and this year the governor proposed a budget $101 million shy of what the CSU asked for. Again, after much advocacy, the budget reflected a 0.46% increase to the 1% enrollment increase in the governor's preliminary budget proposal, 0.46%. Before you get too excited about that 0.46% on our campus, much of that will be used up for much-needed mandatory cost increases. Moving forward, I have received the budget recommendations from our Planning, Resource, and Budget Committee, and I will be sharing my decision on their recommendations in the near future. With all of this in mind, there's one thing we know for sure. We cannot take our foot off the gas of the philanthropic culture we've built. This past year, the pedal was kept firmly to the metal with Vice President Sachs' university advancement and all of our deans, and the stellar support of our faculty, staff, alumni, and donors. We had the highest number of individual alumni and parent donors in university history. Our earned media coverage has increased 256% in 4 years. And just last week, we won Forbes' #MyTopCollege social media campaign in the large school division for the 3rd year straight. While our competition wonders how we keep winning, Forbes may have nailed it by stating, and I quote, "Never sacrificing quality, Cal State University Fullerton students highlighted the school's commitment to diversity and service," unquote. Thanks to government and community relations, we also hosted several conferences and programs that brought community leaders to campus, including the City of Fullerton State of the City. And as always, Dr. Neil Puri and economics professor Dr. Mira Farker provided the Orange County community with the 2016 economic forecast. Students and faculty from the College of the Arts performed at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. Men's baseball, women's softball, men's soccer, and women's soccer, all of them won Big West titles. Concert Under the Stars, make sure you're there, September 19th, which was produced by University Advancement in the College of the Arts last year, raised a record $750,000 for our colleges and programs. And Dr. Natalie Graham, Assistant Professor of African American Studies in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, recently won the highly respected Cave Canon Poetry Prize for her manuscript, Begin with a Failed Body. All of these achievements and many others give us the opportunity to share our story in ways that inspire people to join us and contribute to it. The proof, as they say, is in the pudding, and I'm happy to share that pudding with you now. The fiscal year before the implementation of our strategic plan, we received $8.5 million in total gift commitments. The next year, total new commitments nearly doubled to $16.1 million, surpassing our 5-year goal to increase philanthropic giving to at least $15 million in just 1 year. In fiscal year 14-15, we raised more than $17 million. And at that point, there was some talk that we couldn't possibly sustain our upward trend in gift commitments. Once again, the naysayers were wrong. And today, I am proud to report that our total gift commitments for 15-16 are over $22 million. As jaw-dropping as these numbers are, they, along with all of our collective work, take on new meaning when presented through the lenses of our students' academic success. With this in mind, I am now excited to share our ultimate achievements, proving beyond a doubt that we are poised to achieve our ultimate goal, becoming the model public comprehensive university of the nation. When we gathered in 2012 to begin the development of our strategic plan, our 6-year graduation rate was 51%. We aimed incredibly high with our strategic plan, announcing a goal to increase the graduation rate to 60% in 5 years. I said this last year, but it was so much fun, I'm going to have to say it again. There were those outside our campus community who felt we wouldn't land on this goal in 5 years. And as it turns out, they were right. We did it in 3. And this time last year, our 6-year graduation rates were up to 61%. That not only exceeded our own 5-year goal in just 3 years, but also the CSU System-Wide Graduation Initiative 2025 goal, putting us exactly 10 years ahead of our time. Of course, the naysayers didn't learn, and there were those who thought there was no way we could sustain the success, but we did. And while we are still tallying the final numbers this year, I am so very proud to report that our 6-year graduation rate for first-time freshmen has risen to approximately 63%, a new record high. To be clear, that is a 2 percentage point gain year over year and a staggering 24% improvement in just 4 years. While this success is worth applauding, and as always, the time has come to reach higher, for we cannot call ourselves the model public comprehensive university of the nation until we surpass our top peer institutions' average 6-year graduation rate, which is around 76%. Now, before panic sets in on that number, consider this. The jump we've seen in our 6-year graduation rate over the past 4 years is nearly 13 percentage points. If we duplicate that over the next 4 years, our 6-year graduation rate will be 76%. That's what we are reaching for with our new strategic plan, and that's how we will become the model public comprehensive university of the nation. Already, we are a system-wide model, as evidenced by these achievements. And by the way, the increase in rates for our transfer students In spring of 2012, four-year graduation rate for transfer students was at 67%. Today, 4 years into our strategic plan, graduation rate for this group of transfer students is at 75%, leaving us only 1 percentage point away from achieving the system-wide graduation initiative for 2025. Once again, we are nearly a decade ahead of what the CSU has asked us to be. Now let's talk about the achievement gap, which really should be called the opportunity gap between underrepresented students and their Caucasian peers. Back in 2012, Cal State Fullerton's historically stubborn opportunity gap for first-time freshmen hovered around 13%. 3 years later, in the spring of 2015, we had the gap down to 8.7%, which was a 5 percentage point drop. Today, I'm proud to announce that our achievement gap for first-time freshmen is down to 6.4%. That's right. That means that in just 4 years, we not only achieved our 5-year goal to cut the achievement gap in half, but we also surpassed the CSU Graduation Initiative 2025 with 9 years to spare. Further, when you look at the opportunity gap for our transfer students, you'll see that back in 2012, it hovered stubbornly around 5%. Today, I am proud to report that we not only dropped that number, we completely eliminated it for the first time in the university's history. So in closing, I want to reiterate an anecdote I recently shared as a keynote speaker at the Southeastern EOP McNair Scholars Research Conference. The McNair Scholars Program, which prepares underrepresented undergraduate students for doctoral studies through high-impact practices, continues to soar on our campus, much like the legacy of the man it was named after, Dr. Ronald McNair. Back in the 1960s, long before he became one of the nation's first African-American astronauts, a teenage Ron was watching television with his brother when the show Star Trek, remember Star Trek? When Star Trek came on. Ron immediately noticed that the bridge of the Starship Enterprise was populated by a diverse group of African-Americans, Latinos, Asian, Caucasians, men and women, all working together for the greater good. They were armed with intelligence, technology, and physical prowess, and yet Ron noticed their greatest strength lay in their ability to collaborate and wield the power of their diversity to literally save the universe. Now, keep in mind, Ron and his brother were watching the show in the 1960s South Carolina, where segregation still kept them from entering a public library. So Ron's brother looked at him and laughed and said that such a diverse crew would never happen. He said that was simply science fiction. No, Ron famously replied, it's science possibility. From that day forward, Ronald McNair, an African-American kid from South Carolina with zero connections and poor eyesight, aimed to become a NASA astronaut. And through the transformative power of higher education, he achieved that dream. And despite his tragic death in the Challenger explosion, his spirit is alive and well here at Cal State Fullerton, just not through our McNair scholars, but through each of you, the faculty and staff of this incredible university who represent science possibility for a new generation of diverse Americans. From the moment they apply for admission to the moment they look up to find mom and dad and their extended families smiling down on them from the stands at commencement, your work inspires our students to boldly go where no man, woman, or person of color has gone before. Thank you for allowing me to lead you on this remarkable journey. You are my ikigai. You are the reason I wake up every morning. And above all, you are my Titan family. Let's keep reaching higher. Thank you.